Roger, thank you so much for being here. We are at the Genius Cafe in Sanur. You have created this amazing place. How many years ago did you start?
Well, this place actually only launched in August, so it's been really recent. But our entrepreneur resort we got 10 years ago. But it's really the last 3-4 years when things have really taken off. Yeah.
Okay. And I think when I came here the first time, I was wondering how you came up with the idea. Can you tell me a bit more of the story and why you had the idea of creating this place?
Well, it's kind of interesting because my dream of first of all having a resort or having a lifestyle where you could work from the beach, it goes back maybe 20-25 years before there were things like digital nomads. And actually coming out to Bali happened 12 years ago when there wasn't really very good Wi-Fi or anything like that. So it wasn't so much at that point to have a way to work from Bali because it was actually impossible to. So I'd have to commute back to Singapore and then come back here again. But it was a lifestyle that I really wanted. And then of course, as things started, taking off, and now with co-working spaces everywhere, everyone's starting to do it. And so there was always that dream of having that ability to be able to, work from the beach, have the lifestyle. And I have always found being in the right environment makes me far more effective anyway, which I think is the same for a lot of people as well. Mm-hmm. So that's really where the inspiration came from. Now it's turned into much more because compared to co-working spaces, which can be, everyone loves working with each other, but they're not always with the best view or with the best environment. To be able to actually work here, take calls, look out to sea, it just creates a whole different level of inspiration.
Wow, yeah, it's stunning. I have a history of working by the beach a lot, so
it makes a difference, right?
See how the sea positively affects the brain and the mood and the creativity, everything. And there's no question. It's like there's a reason that people come down to the sea, and even the sunshine. It makes a huge difference to your energy. So I'm a great believer that if you set the right environment to begin with, then what you then do with your thinking, with your even with your thoughts and vision of what can be possible changes dramatically compared to sitting in a traffic jam waiting to get to work. And even different countries, right? Yep. So Bali for sure has a positive effect. Yeah. Talking about countries, so the Genius Cafe is not going to be the only one. We have bigger plans, right?
Yeah, so what happened, I would say probably 2 years ago, is as we were running at our resort, our iLabs, so we're running 2-week, 4-week programs where entrepreneurs are coming around the world, and we started seeing the co-working spaces open up in Bali, and we thought, wouldn't it be great to have one on the beach? And that's where the inspiration for our first Beachclub came from. Right. And it grew very quickly. So while it's been less than a year that this has been going, we have now about 1,500 people a week coming through. It's a lot. And they're not all entrepreneurs. I mean, there's a lot of people that come through who just love the food, that love the events that we run. But the idea of actually having a community that we could actually, bring people together in, and then also great Wi-Fi on the beach, which is difficult to get. Mm-hmm. We wanted to bring all that together in one place as well. But what happened was, as we started doing that, people started asking, well, why don't you do them in more places? We thought, and at that time we were also looking at a really nice safari resort in South Africa. So we'd already been testing some events there as well. So we thought, okay, well, let's bring it all together. And things have now moved very quickly. In the last 4 months, we've gone from the idea of having 3 together to now having a plan for 50 beach clubs and 5 resorts in the next 5 years. And in the last 2 months, we've raised over $2 million towards what's about to happen in 2 weeks' time, which is an IPO where we've actually brought it all together and we're listing the company on the stock exchange. And the reason that we wanted to do that now was because the entrepreneurs themselves are looking for a place to call their home for the movement, right? For the entrepreneur movement. And there's no question, there's more and more entrepreneurs that are wanting to have a great way to get connected with local communities and also to get connected to the environment. And so because of that, the idea of not just co-working and co-learning, but also to be co-investing, right? Or co-funding together to make this a reality, I think it's a really exciting vision. So that's pretty much where we are now.
It sounds like you're creating a lot of amazing opportunities,
Yeah, definitely. And so many people are now getting involved as well. Right. What's happened up until now is people that are invested in who've been entrepreneurs themselves who just really like the idea. Like that's how we got started here. We invited different entrepreneurs to, come on board, invest $50,000 to come in. So the problem with that is that you already have to have a certain level of success to be okay, risking that kind of money into something. Now they've got good returns, which is great, But what about someone who's just getting started? With the IPO, anyone with even $1,000 can already be investing in, getting in shares, knowing when they come and, have a drink or, attend an event, they're already also contributing back to their own company because they're a shareholder in the company as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the whole journey from people coming here to use the cafe and the restaurant and the food and kind of like, and then hear more about the community and about what you do, and have like the full range of possible opportunities in the long run.
And it's part of a bigger vision because not everyone can show up at the beach because they've got their families at home. They might be in a city somewhere. So this is all linked also to our global community of entrepreneurs, where within Entrepreneurs Institute we already have 600,000 plus entrepreneurs, and we have over 20,000 joining a week. So it's really growing fast at the moment. Right. It's definitely the largest entrepreneur network in the world. But for me, it's not so much about the size; it's about the quality of what we're doing. So social entrepreneurship is really where it's all happening. And the thing about what we're doing now for Entrepreneur Socials, which we ran one this last week, where like with our one that we had, Sean was sharing all about what he was doing with the rubbish challenges and the energy conservation with his company here in Bali. The idea of an Entrepreneur Social is that it's just for social entrepreneurs, and we had 60 people who were here. But at the same night, we also had one happening in Auckland, right? We also had one happening in some other part of the world. It's like we now are at the point where we'll be up to about 80 different cities running these events, and they'll be all over the world, where they have the ability to then also connect in and be part of our Entrepreneur Beachclub as well. And then when they do come to Bali, or in the future to Fiji, to Thailand, to the Sunshine Coast, Hawaii, wherever they're going, they know there's going to be a home, a place that they can call home with great community. If they wanted to start up a local business, they know they'd meet people who are already doing it. Great Wi-Fi, great events, and for anyone who's got a great story, that they'd also have a captive audience of people who'd want to learn from them, because that way they can go from place to place sharing their own inspiration. And for me, that's the power of the movement, is that everyone's collaborating, connecting with each other.
Sounds like you're going to have a lot of impact with that in a positive way, socially and environmentally also.
Yeah. And again, what we're doing is not different from other co-working spaces, in that we're already partnering with other co-working spaces. So that way we have a very different model, because most co-working spaces charge for the space, whereas for us, even the membership cost to be part of the Entrepreneur Beachclub, you get back in credits to use for food or drink. So really, the whole place really operates based on the food, the drink, and the environment much more than it does by charging people for the space, which frankly should be free, because some people can't afford to do that if they've got a co-working space, but for us we can, because of the model we've got. But that's the great thing, is like, what you're really getting for free is just the environment.
Right. Can I ask you one last thing? If you had a magic stick and you could change something in this vision, or tomorrow, let's say.
In this vision, or in the world?
Well, in this community, and kind of like where you want to go, and I think your future vision with everything that you've just shared with us, what would it be? How could you?
Maybe that we get there faster. Well, actually, no, I would say one thing, which would be my genie in the bottle. For me, it would be and we are working on it, the combination of the technology we can use together with the environment that we have as well. So the vision, which is not there yet, the vision is that with our Genius U app, if I'm coming here to Bali for the first time, I can look on the app and I can see all the other entrepreneurs that will be here either today or sometime during this week. I'll be able to see what projects they're working on. I'm creative, so I love getting involved in ideas that people have, and if there's a project going on where they're looking for someone to provide creative input, and they're meeting on a Wednesday, and I can kind of click to say, hey, I want to be there as well, then everyone here has a very accelerated way to get connected to the people that are going to make the biggest impact with them. So that would be my kind of magic wand. It's like, okay, that's what we'd have now, and then straight away it means that everyone can get connected even faster to the people that can really help them the most.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. Sorry, I'll always sign up immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have that actually, if all goes well, within 3 months. So it's happening.
Wow. Okay. Check that. Well, great. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you around.
Yeah.
And people can find you here as well, right?
Yeah, I'm always kind of wandering around here at some point or other.
I've seen you. Okay.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Roger.